Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Okay, this has nothing to do with woodworking, but it's a great story and it's actually a two-parter. The second part will be the actual video that I'm going to talk about here. So let me give you a quick summation of what's going on so you'll understand. You know who and me went to the Racine Zoo. It's in Racine, Wisconsin. It's not a very big zoo. I've been to a lot of bigger zoos and all over the country, but it's a pretty small zoo, so it made it easy for us to walk around there. But anyway, this was just the other day, so it's in the fall. It's kind of cool outside, but it wasn't too bad. So when we get there, we decided we wanted to go to the lion cage and see what was there. And they weren't outside, so we went to the building, to the inside of the building, and we walked into the front door. And there were some animals on the left-hand side, and the first cage on the right was the lion's cage. And I want to set this up so you understand what happened here. So I get there, and we walk in, and there's two lionesses in there. And it's obvious to me pretty quick that one is the younger one of the two, even though they're pretty close to both being the same size. They both were pretty much full grown. It turned out the one was only about 2.5 years old. The one that we're going to be talking about, and her name was Curry, Kuri, I think. Anyway, they were both sitting there, and the mother was biting on its ear every now and then and pushing, and you could tell she was being a little bit domineering. They were sitting about 2 foot from the front edge of the cage. Now, the banister railing that I had to stand behind that went all the way through, and then you could go out the other side of the building, which was about 40 foot, 50 foot long. And this railing runs the whole length, and there was like 2 or 3 cages on the one side, or if you behind on the other side was another row of cages with other animals. So anyway, this lion cage is sitting there, and I see these 2 lions, and they're kind of growling, snarling a little bit at each other, not really paying attention to the people there. And there were a couple other people standing there, a guy with his little girl and a couple others. And so when we walked in, I'm kind of to the right-hand side. If you're facing the cage, I'm standing there looking at this. Now again, I'm standing behind the banister railing. It's about 3 feet from the banister railing to the edge of the cage. And the cage is not your standard bars. I've never seen bars like this. Well, not really bars. What it was is it had a steel beam on the bottom and a steel beam on the top, and it had these strands of cable running straight vertical up and down. And I think you'll be able to see those in the video. And so they're about 2.5 inches apart, and they're just strung real tight, like a guitar string. And that's the way the whole thing, and that's what held the lions in the cage. So your view of them is pretty close. You could really see them. And these things were like 7 feet away from us. And they're both sitting there facing us. And the little one is getting perturbed at the mother. So, but when we walked in, the younger one, all of a sudden, for some reason, I started staring at it. And I locked eyes with it. And it locked its eyes on me. And I'm sitting there, and now I decided, well, I'm not going to look away first. Because I know one thing, like when it comes to dogs, you never want to look away first, because then they think you're not dominant. So anyway, I'm staring down this young lioness. And then I decided I was going to move from this side, because there were other people coming in and stuff. And I decided I would move to the other side of the cage. And it was about 30 feet wide, this cage where the lions are. So I stayed locked on this lion, looking at its eyes, and it's staring right back at my eyes, and it started following me on its eyes. The head wasn't really moving hardly any. It was slowly, we would lock eyes as I sidestepped over to the other side of the cage, and I'm standing there. Now I'm about 15 to 20 feet away from this lion, still behind the rail, and then the lion is behind the cage cabling, and I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, while we never did let go of our eye contact back and forth, all of a sudden, that little lioness jumped, and in 2 jumps, boom, boom, growled and was right at the cage, at the edge of the cage, looking right at me and growling, just really ferocious. I mean, it took me back a step when that happened. I went, whoa, because all of a sudden, this cat went from 20 feet away to less than 5 feet away from my face and standing there snarling at me like crazy. And whoa! And everybody in the whole place turned around because they could hear it. this lion, and she's sitting there just snarling like crazy at me. And I'm sitting there almost intimidated because now those little strands of cable, they didn't look so thick to me anymore. And so then we were sitting there, and you know who says, well, I think we should go. So I said, okay. So I'm still staring this lion down, though. And so as I left and we're walking the other way, I'm watching this lion as I'm walking that way and seeing what he's doing. That lion watched me all the way to the other end of that building until I went out that door. He just kind of sit there growling. And everybody's going in, what happened? What happened? Why did they do that? And so we left. And we went around, looked at other animals, and I told her, I said, boy, I wish I had gotten my phone out and taken that picture of that. I never thought about it at the time. I had no idea that lioness would do that. So anyway, about a half hour later, I said, let's go back in. So we go back in, and I walk back into the cage, and now there's 3 lions in there. Now there's a male lion laying over in one corner, and the little one's playing with the toys in there, and the mother is laying on the other end of the cage, and he's trying to get her to play with him and everything. And all of a sudden, the lion looked over and saw me. And as soon as she saw me, she lunged 3 or 4 bounds from the back of that cage and right up to the edge of it again, within 5 feet of me again, and growled at me like crazy. Whoa! And I thought, that's unbelievable. So then the mother got up, walked over to it, and bit it on the back of its head or neck or something, and then the little one kind of scurried off. And I thought, I think I better take that out. So then I took my camera out, and this is when I started filming. I started video the cage and what was going on. And it started playing with one of its toys again. Then it left and went out of the room, went in through the back opening that went out of sight to another area cage that you can't see from inside or outside. It was kind of like a back room. And so they went back there, all of them. Now all of a sudden there weren't any lions there. So then I kind of waited, and like I said, at this point I started using my phone and recording, and I'm holding it like right here so that it can kind of see what I'm seeing. And I'm standing there, and after about 15-20 seconds, that lion came out of that hole, saw me still standing there staring at him, and the thing just took another from the back of the back, came roaring up front, and come to an abrupt stop right at the edge of the cage again. Now he's again within 4 feet of me or 5 feet of me, growling. And I went, whoa! And so anyway, then it turned and walked away, and then I stopped the recording. So anyway, I have to tell you, I've never had a lion do that before. What was astounding is that I'm sorry I didn't get the first or the second recording of it, because I didn't expect that lion to come back and remember me when I came back a half hour later, and then to do it twice like that. And so I only caught the third time, so I kind of left it. So I had this video that's only about a minute long, shows the lion coming out of the back and coming right at me and stopping right at the edge of the cage on those cables. And the third time, it didn't intimidate me near like it did the first time. But I still, to this day, I don't quite understand. That lion remembered me, and I could tell she wanted a piece of me. And I had to tell you, it was kind of funny. So anyway, I had this video, and I was trying to think of, wow, now what do I do with it? So I've decided I'd tell you the story. I can't edit. I don't edit anything, and to hold true to that principle, the way I got to do this is I thought I'd do this introductory to it. This is part 1, and then if you want, look at part 2, which I'll also publish right at the same time I publish this one, and you can see that it's only a minute long. You can see what that lion did and get a better idea of what I felt seeing that lion coming straight at me and stop 4 feet from my face like that. So anyway, it was kind of entertaining. I thought I'd share it with you, and I thought it was really intriguing how this lion acted toward me. And what set that off to this day is still amazing. And that the fact I came back a half hour later and she remembered me was impressive. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments about this or talk about any experiences you had at the zoo, if you want to, that's great. Needless to say, the rest of the zoo walk around and everything wasn't near as exciting as when we went into that lion cage. Like I said, we went in there twice, and it was quite entertaining. I'm sorry I didn't get it all, but maybe next time I'll be prepared when I go around the lion cages. So anyway, enjoy the video. And leave any comments either on this one or on part 2 if you'd like about what you think. If you like this video or that one, hit that like button. You know, it lets me know I'm still doing some of the right things, even though it's not woodworking. Most importantly, please come back again because the lion didn't get me, and I will be back. Thanks. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.